bill. Senator Blumenthal.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. General, thank you for visiting me, and thank you for your profoundly impressive service over so many years in the United States Marine Corps. We're here at a really historic moment, not only because we're commemorating 9/11, but there has been literally an attack on a NATO nation by Russia in its brazenly violating Polish airspace with a number of drones, a direct incursion into the sovereign territory of that NATO member state by an autocrat who has played the United States, has mocked American power, and stalled and stonewalled our president. I hope that you agree with me that now is the time that the United States has to show strength against Putin by reacting offensively, in the great tradition of the Marine Corps, against this unprecedented and extraordinary step of sending Russian drones into Poland.
Senator, I believe that we need to remain strong in all eventualities, this being one of them. If the Russians meant to do it, it was provocative. If they didn't mean to do it, it's an indication of incompetence. At any rate, I think what we're seeing is the Poles, the Polish armed forces, from their increase in defense spending to their increase in capability, being emblematic of that balance that we need to do just what you say, to stand up against a irredentist Russia.
Don't you find it inconceivable that this incursion was unintentional? There were so many drones, and they were sent at the same time over a long period of time, in the same time period.
From a military perspective, sir, you know, my assessment based on what I know is that it looks more intentional than not. Once again, if it wasn't, there's some significant incompetence there.
I hope that you will join me and others on this committee in demanding that our nation and our European allies increase our military aid for Ukraine so that it can resist this kind of aggression and slaughter, and heightened economic sanctions against the nations that are fueling Russia's war machine by buying Putin's oil and gas. I'm talking about India, China, Brazil. The best way to achieve peace, wouldn't you agree, is to show strength by passing the bill. It's the Blumenthal bill that would impose scorching sanctions on those nations that are, in effect, enabling Russia to continue this aggression.
Senator, I prefer to stay in my military lane and just say that should I be confirmed, part of my job will be to provide options for the use of power against eventualities most dangerous and most likely. And this case would be no exception.
Well, this conversation obviously will not end here, and I look forward to continuing it with you, General, when you are confirmed, and I will support your confirmation. I'm very impressed by your background. Let me just ask you finally, we've received reports that the Secretary of Defense, or the Secretary of War, as he now calls himself, means for the Department of Defense to focus more on law enforcement, state and local law enforcement, and that he's issued policy directives within the Pentagon to that effect. Are you aware of those policy directives or a planned strategy paper?
In my current job, Senator, I'm not aware of that. I am not aware of any directive of that nature.
Thank you very much.
On the Marine Corps side.
Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Blumenthal.